So now we need to do the draw in animation for the missile launcher. And since he doesn't have a lot of time, what we can do is have him draw the top section and have the rockets start firing right away while he finishes the bottom. So let's find the point where we want him to start drawing and get ready to draw a new pose. I'll put the brush in position and move the anchor point to the tip. Then put in the pose. Actually, let's say this is the second position and he'll actually start at this top corner. Then I'll do a pose at each corner to make the rectangle. Then before we get too far, I should make the actual draw-in animation on the launcher. So I will select it and make that a symbol called missile launcher draw. Then I'll do distribute to layers to put all the lines on separate layers. And then I'll decide the order these should be drawn in. We want the box, then the missiles, then the lines for the base, and I'll put the layers in order. Okay, now starting with the box, let's add some frames and then go around and erase frame by frame. Actually, that's too slow. I can take out some frames. Then I'll reverse those frames. And then the missiles should only take about 3 frames each. And reverse those. Then the same for the other missiles. Now the first part of the base. And the next one. And the last one. Then, since we want it to start firing as soon as the missiles are drawn, I'm going to make a keyframe on all the top parts and turn those into a symbol called missile launcher shooting. And we're going to want that on the main timeline, so I'm going to copy it. And then we're going to want to make a folder like we did with the hammer pieces because there are going to be a lot of missiles. So let's just call it missiles. And I'll go ahead and make some empty layers to put in there. Call this one missile. And an easy way to rename layers is to just click and drag a frame to the next layer. So now let's find the frame where the top finishes drawing and paste our missile launcher shooting symbol there and make sure it's lined up. Then we need to animate missiles coming out of it. So let's take the missile we already have here, make it a symbol. Then inside, let's add a fire animation to the bottom of it. Okay, now let's cut the missile. And we'll paste it to one of the missile layers, but first let's go inside the launcher. We need to make animations of these tips coming out, so I'll make copies of the missile that have these tips. To make that easy, we want this main rectangle to be filled white so we can just put missiles behind it. With the paint bucket tool, I'll set it to auto close large gaps, then switch to a color so we know if it works or not. Good, so that filled. I'll just change it to white. Okay, now I'm going to copy the tip of this missile, make a duplicate of the missile symbol, missile 1, and paste the tip inside, and redraw the missile body to match up with the tip. Then do the same thing 2 more times to make duplicate missile symbols with the same tips as the ones in the launcher. Okay, now I'll search the library for missile so we can see the ones we just made. Pull out copies of each one, distribute them to their own layers. And we want to line them up behind the launcher. Make sure they're lined up. Now to hide the fins sticking out, I'll make a mask. So we want a duplicate of the main rectangle on a layer. I'll change that layer to mask. And nest the missile layers inside it. Then when they're locked, you can't see the fins. I need them unlocked for now. Let's delete the tips so we have just the rockets. And then let's make animations of them coming out. They only need to come this far, then we'll have the missiles on the main timeline take over. And we want to stagger the animations so they don't launch at the same time. Add tweens and set them to ease in 100. Okay, then after each one launches, we want it to get replaced. So let's have copies of each missile animating up from the bottom. Copy the starting keyframes from the beginning, tween them and set them to ease out 100, and offset them as well. Okay, now currently the mask is too small. It's hiding the tips of the rockets, so we need to add to the front of it to reveal more of the rockets coming out the front. Now it should be big enough so that we can see the full animation of the rockets. Okay, one last thing. The rockets are overlapping, so let's fill those in with white too. Break the lines apart and use the paint bucket tool. Okay, those look better. Now let's tweak the timing. I think they can come out faster. Let's check that. Let's go even faster. Okay, that's good. Now let's finish the rest of the rocket launcher drawing. Let's line up the poses we have with the rectangle being drawn in. Then from here, I'm going to put the brush on a separate layer and match up the brush position for drawing the rockets. Then I think I need to leave time before the base starts drawing in so the brush has time to get there. Then keep positioning the brush. Then we need a gap for time to get back to the top. And there, the brush is done. Now let's pose out the body to match the brush positions. We'll do the most extreme poses first. Then he stands back up. Then I'll do all the in-between poses for the body. Now that's enough poses for the body. For the rest of the in-betweens, I'll copy the keyframes and just redraw the arm. So effectively, the body is on 2s, but the arm is on 1s. Okay, that drawing looks good. Now let's just in between the standing up. Great. so that's drawing the rocket launcher finished. Next, let's actually animate the missiles flying around the stage. We'll do that in the next video.